Hi, and welcome to another episode of Balanced Bride. I'm your host, CEO of Out of Box Weddings, Simone G.
And I'm your host, lead coordinator of Out of Box Weddings, Farah J.
Thank you so much, everybody, for taking the time to chat with us. We're so excited to have you all with us today and for our second episode of Season 3.
Yes, episode number 2. It's so amazing. We started this project a couple of years ago. Oh my gosh, it's so awesome. And here we are, Season 3. So before we get into it, as always, please don't forget to follow us on IG at @balancedbride_. And you can use the hashtags #BeBalanced, #BalanceDbride, #BeABalancedBride.
Yes. Please follow us and share with your brides, with your friends who are getting married, or if you just want some good old-fashioned entertainment, chime in on us. It's funny enough because we did a poll on our Balanced Bride page, and the question was, so it was a picture of this lady, and it was like, does she look like she looks stressed and frustrated? Does she look like she needs a planner? And all of you, and some of you answered, and thank you so much for participating. We're trying, guys. We're trying to, work with us. We're moving and progressing slowly but surely. But thank you guys who responded to our poll and showed interest. You guys were 90% in agreement that she did need a planner, and it's what we've always been preaching from day one, is that your planner's here to help you and guide you and be there for you, so you're not that stressed out, overworked bride. So thank you guys. What else you got, Sarah?
Well, I actually did a poll on my personal page asking if weddings should be canceled or rescheduled.
That's a good one.
And surprisingly, 15% of the people said canceled. First of all, boo to you if you think somebody should cancel their wedding. But 85% of the people said that, it should be rescheduled. So today we're going to be talking about planning for a rescheduled wedding and some of the things that each couple can do to make sure that everything goes off better than the original plan. Kind of like a 2.0 of your wedding, like the upgraded version.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. I love this because we're piggybacking off of our previous podcast, which we talked about canceling versus rescheduling and the effects of all of that. So now we're going to the other side, which is we're talking solely about rescheduling and, what you can do, some tips on what you can do once you reschedule, and just, we're just dialoguing about it to make sure that everyone, has a better understanding of what they can do, what they shouldn't do, and just provide some tips. So I hope you guys really like it.
Basically the now what of like, all right, I'm going to reschedule. Now what do I do?
Exactly. Now what?
A quick shout out to Artistry Defined One. She is a phenomenal Atlanta-based makeup artist who #travels. Make sure you check out her work. She definitely chimed in. She listened to the podcast and she left a comment on our page, and she was like, whew, this is a hot topic to navigate. She's also engaged, I believe. I'm not sure if I should be putting that out there, but she told me on the side. And it's funny, like, I love how people are like sliding in my DM, like, hey, this is a cool topic. Someone had wrote, she put a bunch of sad face emojis and was like, 2 of my girlfriends had to reschedule for next year. And I was like, okay, at least they're not trying to push it through COVID-19, So that's a good thing.
And what's interesting? I feel because I've had some clients reschedule towards later part of this year, and I've had a few clients reschedule all the way until next year, and I tried to think about it. I was like, like put myself in their shoes, and I think, like, for me personally, I would have probably pushed it to next year too, because I feel like this year is like the energy around it, and the whole social distancing, and a wedding is everything but social distancing. Everyone's on top of each other, practically dancing and having a good time, and cheers and hugs and celebrations. So,
Hugs
I
and kisses and high fives and hand touching and face touching, all the touching.
everything, all that as it should be.
Yeah.
So I think for those, I completely, I had have a bride who is getting married in June, and she pushed it all the way to June of next year. She's like, forget about it. I'm going to go all the way next year. I understand because, I believe in like energy and everything like that. And such like little funky energy. Like for me, pushing it till the end of the year probably wouldn't have been enough. I would have just pushed it to the next year.
And that's a good point to make too. Pushing into the end of this year, especially since, we're here until quote unquote May, it's still like, oh, you had an event in 2020, like you're forever going to be associated with this whole pandemic. So it's like, push it to 2021, give yourself extra time. And I love how a lot of these couples are getting creative. I've just been, checking out the scene and seeing what's going on. Some couples are still getting married. They're just not
Yes, shout out to Tamar, who got married.
That's who I was thinking
so happy for them.
That was so cute. They were in matching sweatpants.
Warm-up pants.
Yeah, like jumpsuits or something.
Yes.
They were practicing safe social distancing. It was just them two. I want to say there was maybe 4 people because someone was definitely taking pictures.
Taking the pictures, really. Yeah.
And then the officiant, and that was it. Like, I highly recommend that. Go ahead and marry him, sis. Like, make sure it's on paper. Go ahead and marry his partner. Make sure it's official, because then we don't want to give them extra time to think about anything.
Yeah, that's too funny.
Like, legally, we're married. We're just holding off the wedding. That's all we're
pushing. Exactly. So that too, I like that idea as well. But shout out to them. I thought it was absolutely beautiful when I saw it, and she posted it on her Instagram page. So congratulations and shout out to her. We're too happy for you. And it was great that you shared that moment with us. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so let's get into it. Why would someone reschedule their wedding, their special event?
We have a couple of reasons. Honestly, one could be a natural disaster, like a hurricane. I mean, we see those things all the time. We're used to hurricanes like this. We only have 2 seasons in South Florida. We got hurricane and we got summer. That's it.
Hurricane and mosquitoes. No, just kidding.
That's the only things we know how to prepare for, more or less. And hurricanes come as a surprise, so that's one good reason to reschedule. Another one could be an important family member or friend has fallen ill, especially, in this time, unfortunately. You really want that person to either be there, to be present, or you just really want them to get well and you want to focus your attention on making sure that they're okay. Another reason could be a national issue or virus, #quarantine. And time, honestly, not enough time to plan, and, with not enough time to plan, you'll need more money, more time and more money. Honestly, those are really good reasons to reschedule.
And those are all very valid reasons, but something everyone always needs to think about when deciding, hey, I'm thinking on postponing my wedding, I'm thinking on rescheduling my wedding, is, of course, your contract, because I'm pretty sure for any reputable vendor, they have some little clause in there regarding that. And we touched a little bit on this in our previous episode where we mentioned, the whole act of God, and, it doesn't matter. We're not, if you decide to cancel or whatever the case may be, it can be an act of God. We're not, there's no refund. So there's things that you have to think about with regard to rescheduling as well, and just making sure that you're on the same page with your vendors and everything, and that, what does your contract say? And it's just something that you just have to think about. So some things couples should also consider before officially rescheduling their wedding is, and this is something that we've been telling our clients over the past couple weeks as well, think of several dates that would be ideal for you to reschedule your wedding. Don't just come with one date being like, hey, I'm getting married next year, July 13th. that's it. Like, are there any other options? Nope. This is the day. You never know if that person, that vendor, your planner, your DJ, they might have something booked already. We book a year, 2 years out. So come to us with a few dates in mind before you know, and so we can kind of like, hey, this is good, and go back and forth and decide from there. Of course, consult your wedding planner and your vendors. Don't just go to your venue and say, hey, this is the date, and, you know, on the back end, turn around and then go to your vendors and say, like, oh, yeah, this is the date. No. Right. You want to make sure that you've given your vendors a couple options, and you guys have kind of, like, talked about it, and just confirm. Really, it's a courtesy, honestly. Confirm that, hey, I am available. This is what I'm considering for my wedding date, and what do you know, are you available on these dates? And go from there. And then you guys agree and settle on the date and all that good stuff, and you move towards a new plan. Once all of the above, you know, what we just said has been settled, I do recommend that you get it in writing, of course, that this is the new date, or if they do a contract change, that's between you and the vendor. You know, just changing and adjusting the date. You guys talk about things like, well, when will my final payment be due, and all that stuff, which it might be pushed, it more than likely will be pushed back, and all that different type of stuff. And you get that in writing too, if possible. And what are some things you think, Farah, that couples can do to make their wedding better?
Well, I have a few ideas in mind. So one, now that you're rescheduling, you've got a little bit of extra time, you can add other details that you weren't able to. For example, a photo booth, hora loca, extra flares to really make it memorable. Like if you're going to reschedule something, definitely add a little more, you know?
Yeah.
Another is you can update your overall look. Honestly, add more flowers, more intricate, unique touches, or less. If anybody knows me, I love the color teal. I remember when I first moved into my new place, I bought everything that was teal, surrounded by teal, blue, anything. And after a month, I was over it. I was like, okay, I can't. This is too much. So this will be a good time to kind of look back at your complete look and add or take away some things, because maybe you were just in a rush and just trying to get, all right, let's just throw this out there. Now you can really add your personal touch to it. Another thing that you can do is update your guest list. So let's keep it real. Between when you started dating this person to when y'all got engaged to now, like, people have honestly evolved in and out of your lives. So it's okay. You know, we do got to let some people out and let new people in, and make sure you make that adjustment on your guest list as well, because there's nothing like having someone in your space that you do not get along with or you do not vibe with. Like, it just feels awful. And for it to be on your wedding day, like, you don't want that. So definitely take this time during your reschedule window to update that guest list. Like, really sit and be like, okay, do we really want to invite 200 people, or let's make it more intimate and just you know? And then that also gives you wiggle room with fun. And speaking of fun, another thing that, you know, couples can do is focus on their flexible payment plans. Now that you have more time, you can make more digestible payments. And vendors are always willing to work with you.
Definitely.
Like, they'll definitely, I mean, you know, definitely work with you, especially since you're not canceling, you are rescheduling. We have more time. So it's like, okay, you know, and then a note to vendors, this is a good time to upsell your clients as well. It's like, all right, so now that you have more time, why don't we add an extra hour, or why don't we add that extra, you know, pizzazz, and then I'll give you, you know, X amount of, we have a whole nother year. You'll make $10 a month. Like, we'll make it.
Right.
Those are some pretty good tips, I think, that people can do in the meantime.
Yeah, I like all of them. I think the one that stands out the most for me is definitely updating your guest list. Just going back, because at this point we haven't, well, in most cases, you probably haven't sent out your invitations, so it's perfectly okay. You may have sent out your dates, save the dates, but it's okay. So you haven't sent out the official invitation yet, so at this point, usually you're pretty safe, I should say, when it comes to, adjusting a couple names on your guest list. And I also, like the idea of changing, adjusting the look. So, I've had couples who within actually, 2-3 months, they completely changed the flowers, the this, the that, and that's okay. But here you have more than enough time, especially if you are rescheduling maybe 6 months, almost a year out. You have more than enough time to spruce up that look a little bit and bring it into 2021, 22, and leave 2020 behind. So I definitely think that those are my probably top two. And of course, as far as like the payment plans, I mean, of course, everyone can always use a better payment option, right? So I think like, you have to look at the positive in all of, the idea of rescheduling, whatever your reasoning is for it, and just kind of like, run with it. And still continue to have fun. It's not like, oh my gosh, I have to reschedule. This is horrible. It's like, no, oh my gosh, I'm going to reschedule, and I have a little bit more time to add some more stuff. Make my payments have been pushed back. Yay. I'm going to, cut you off my list and add you to my list. Yay, 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 that again. And it's just like an opportunity more than anything. So I try to look at things from the positive perspective versus always like, oh, this sucks. So yeah.
Absolutely. I think I love that, now, because, in the time of wedding planning, everything always feels so rushed, and it's always like, you think a year is a long time.
It's
but
not.
Then when you get to the nitty gritty, like every single month there's something that's happening. And once you've chosen those flowers, that's it. Let's move on to the next. Now it's like, hopefully you have, a binder of some sort, or you have all of your documents and your files saved on your computer. You can look at it with a fresh pair of eyes. You can look at it now as a couple and really talk over it with your partner and say, hey, this looks cool, but let's change this a little bit. And it's now that we have this extra time, it's always good to just kind of sit and breathe and pace yourself through it. There's no rush. Like, we're not going anywhere, literally. We're supposed to be staying home.
Sarah, I just came up with a new idea for our podcast, and you said it. Details everybody should keep in her wedding binder.
You're so funny.
I was like, oh, there goes another podcast. I don't know if it's the next one, but there goes another one. Okay, yes. Awesome. Yes, and so I heard everything you said.
We'll talk on that. We will touch on that.
Yes.
But yeah, those are definitely, I think those are some really great things to touch on. And, if ever you guys need, definitely hit us up on our social media handles. We're here to help out. I will say this, like, I love having intimate conversations with these brides. Like, I have real conversations with people.
Right.
I'm not a fan of like, well, we'll just use this one set message and post it on everyone's page. Like,
right.
I don't want to throw anybody under, but
but she is
industry. But,
I don't mean to throw you under the bus, but
right. It's some nonsense when you hit a butt. Anything before the butt was bullshit. But someone posted on this. So this couple, this guy proposed to his girlfriend. So romantic. He proposed to her, but mind you, we're in quarantine, right? It's only them 2 or 3, because there's always someone with a camera. Like, how do y'all have this, like, random photographer or videographer in your house? Anyway, so he's doing this whole proposal, and she thinks it's just him and her. He proposes to her, she says yes, and then he like, activates the computer, and he had a Zoom meeting going on. Like, all her friends and their friends and family were watching. So it was so. But someone posted, hey, you should do a destination wedding, come down to Florida. Really?
Oh, wow.
Really, y'all? Really? But I was like, oh my God, that's so romantic. I love how he did that extra time. Like, I'm having a real conversation. So
Right.
just,
That's too funny.
vendors, set yourselves apart. Really take the time to talk to your people. Build those relationships, like, really genuinely.
Right. No, I
Um,
agree.
yeah, so we're coming to a close. You guys, it's always a pleasure, like, having this conversation. It feels like you all are in the room with us as we're just, chopping it up. Thank you so much for your continued support and love. Like, it feels awesome. It feels really great to do something that you love and just to know that other people enjoy it as well, and you all are benefiting from it. It's
Absolutely.
so much value.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so as Farah mentioned, we're coming to a close. Are there any last minute tips that or any takeaways that we want to make sure everybody has for sure with regards to rescheduling their wedding? Is there anything, one, two things that you want to make sure that they take away, or are we good?
I think we're good. Like,
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
we mentioned it and reiterated it. And if you guys missed it, always hit that replay.
Rewind.
What is it, those 15 seconds back or something like that on Spotify? I do it all the time. I'm like, wait a second, I missed that. So.
Right.
You have access to it, so you guys could always rewind it, take some, notes, write down some questions, hit us up, and we'll definitely, help you out.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so for more helpful tips and suggestions, guys, of course, we're on Spotify, we're on Google Play, we're uploading our podcast to YouTube and everything like that. So check that out. Also, for additional backup support, download our free ebook where we're giving tips and suggestions, but we also have our book, The Happy Dear Bride, You're Not Alone. 7 Steps to Planning Your Perfect Day. So, all of these amazing resources are here for you to help you be able to better understand how to plan your wedding and how to, not be stressed out and everything like that. So check out some of those resources, not to mention for our clients and vendors, there's our sister site, the Wedding Planner Society, where we've launched our e-environment, so we're always uploading courses to that environment so that you can learn the backside of wedding planning, which is how to become a better planner. So check that out too if you have a chance. And that's all we have. Of course, like us on social media at @balancebride_, and use those hashtags, be balanced, be a balanced bride, and balance bride. So thank you guys so much for coming onto another podcast. We really, really, really appreciate it, and we love you, and we're forever in your debt and thankful. So thank you. This right here is Simone G.
And this is Sarah J.
Have a wonderful, wonderful day, guys. And, yeah, we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.